This here is issue number 1 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. We start by seeing the Rangers and the Turtles' signature weapons scattered in various places, as if there was a huge battle between the two teams, or as if the two teams were fighting together against a common foe. That's probably a sign of things to come though, as we jump to Angel Grove and see the Power Rangers fighting Rita's monster, Apocalyptopus. In terms of Power Rangers continuity then, this probably takes place during the equivalent of the first season of the TV show, but it's not known if this takes place within the Boom Studios Power Rangers continuity as well. We do know, however, that this takes place when Tommy is not around, who by the way is not Kimberly's boyfriend. So this could be after the events in Green Candle from the TV show. The Rangers have had enough of this monster, so Trini suggests they finish it off. Jason then calls for the Power Blaster to be assembled, and they unleash the full force of it on the monster and destroying it. So we've seen the Rangers working as a team, but without Tommy, and now we move to New York City and see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also engaged in battle against Shredder's foot soldiers. They are taking it easy and try to think of something that they'd enjoy if they were human. The Rangers in the comics do talk during battle, but in most cases they talk about things relating to the battles they're engaged in. The Turtles' conversations though are completely irrelevant. But the fact that both teams of heroes talk whilst fighting just shows how similar these guys are. Raphael ends up unmasking one of the foot soldiers and then ends up taking a kick to the head. Not only that, the foot soldier then punches Raph, knocking him back. But instead of taking advantage of the situation and continuing the fight, the soldiers gather together and send Ninja Vanish. And then we see the classic ninja disappearing act as the foot soldiers disappear. The Turtles go over to Raphael to see if he's okay, but also make fun of him because Raph took a beating from a foot soldier. So the dynamics are pretty similar to what we've seen for the Turtles across the different forms of media, especially the various TV series. Back in Angel Grove, the Rangers, except for Kimberly, talk about their last battle. Trini failed a physics test because she didn't have time to prepare for it, as she was fighting Apocalyptopus. Zack says to Jason that it would be nice if the Power Rangers weren't always the last line of defense. We then move away to the command center where Kimberly is talking to Zordon. She wanted to see if Alpha and Zordon could track Tommy's location, because he's been gone for weeks. Zordon tells her that he's not morphed, so they can't find him. Kimberly speculates what could have happened to him and mentions that maybe Rita grabbed him, or maybe he's fighting an evil version of himself. Yep, those scenarios have happened before. Back in New York, Karai debriefs the clan. It is here we learn the foot soldier that Raphael unmasked in the earlier battle is none other than Tommy. Well, that certainly explains the announcement of the Ninja Vanish move earlier, which the Turtles found strange. It's something the Power Rangers do a lot of, announcing their every move. We learn here that Tommy is going by the name of Tommy Marshall instead of Tommy Oliver. When Karai asks him what he wants, Tommy says he's been tossed aside his whole life by friends and family, etc. He's somehow heard about the Foot Clan, where people fight for what's theirs, and he is always up for a fight. So that's a pretty vague reason for why Tommy joined the Foot. Now for his mission. He uses ninja-like skills to get around his target building, Mason Technologies. There's hardly any security around except for a few people and CCTV, so Tommy gets inside without issue. He picks up the object he's after, but he was watched by the Ninja Turtles. They score him some points and overall it's pretty average. Leonardo gets Michelangelo to call Cowabunga and they charge towards Tommy, who suddenly morphed into his Green Ranger suit. Once morphed, Michelangelo realizes that Tommy is a Power Ranger. Raphael just says, "Figures." This then does not fit in wholly with the TV series because the Turtles that crossed over in Power Rangers in Space were from the Next Mutation series, and they thought the Rangers were just comic book characters. Anyway, Tommy thinks the Turtles are monsters, and the battle commences. The fact is, Tommy is trying to steal an energy cell, and Donatello says that only 2 facilities in the city are attempting that level of technology. Whatever it is, Shredder wants it. Raphael wants payback for the hits Tommy handed him earlier, so he goes all out. Raph asks Tommy if the suit gives him superpowers, to which he replies, something like that. Well, superpowers aren't everything because Raph is able to hold his own against Tommy's morphed state, and even knocks him down. Suddenly, the other Rangers arrive, and it's because Alpha was able to pick up Tommy's morphed energy signature. Tommy suddenly flies through rubble, and that's when the other Rangers find him and the Turtles. The Turtles think that Tommy called for backup. The Rangers think the Turtles are Rita's monsters. And so begins the big fight between the two groups of heroes, as depicted in this cool 2-page spread. The premise is similar to what we saw previously in the Justice League Power Rangers crossover. Both teams started out as enemies, and we're seeing that again here. The two leaders, Leonardo and Jason, engage in a sword fight. They're evenly matched, and Leonardo even compliments Jason's power sword. Despite the Rangers thinking the Turtles are Rita's monsters, Jason seems to have some respect for Leonardo. Similarly, Donatello is taking on Billy. So we have the two highly intelligent ones against each other. Donatello has many questions, and the funniest one is when he asks how Tommy can play the Dragon Dagger's flute through a metal faceplate. I'd like to know how, actually. But anyway, Billy knows Donatello is the clever one, but still thinks he's one of Rita's creations. Michelangelo takes on Zack, and he says he thought the Power Rangers were good guys. Zack says they are, so Michelangelo asks if they are good, why are they working for Shredder? Zack has no idea who or what Shredder is. It's funny how the Turtles know who the Rangers are, but the Rangers don't have a clue who the Turtles are. In the trouble with Shell Shock, even the bad guys are aware that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles exist, as Shell Shock says, "Wait till those teenage mutants see what a full-grown turtle can do." Back to the action now, or away from it, as Kimberly approaches Tommy, wondering what is going on. Tommy says he did everything he could to not get the others involved. Kimberly asks what he's involved in, but he seems to want to continue keeping it a secret, and just asks Kimberly to trust him. Reluctantly, Kimberly says fine and just tells him to go. Raph, however, still has unfinished business with Tommy and wants to continue their fight. Kimberly steps in to buy Tommy some time to get away. We then see Trini joining in on the action, as she lands a hit on Raphael. From a distance, Karai is watching their battle. She's on the rooftop with Shredder. We don't know exactly what Shredder wants with the energy cell that Tommy stole just yet. All we know is, once Tommy gives it to Shredder, Tommy will be Shredder's to command. I think. Shredder said Oliver, which I'm guessing is Tommy's surname, but Karai called him Tommy Marshall earlier, so I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, that's the end of the first issue, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. It's entertaining seeing the Turtles in action, and these versions seem better than the next Mutation Turtles that crossed over into Power Rangers in space. I'm hoping this miniseries plays out better than what we got on TV. So when does this comic take place? Don't know. Like I said, it could be the equivalent of the first season of the TV show after Green Candle. Then again, it may be like the Justice League Power Rangers crossover and in its own continuity. It doesn't really matter. These miniseries crossovers are for fun team-ups. This looks very promising, and I hope it continues to be this entertaining across the next 4 issues.